OK, now this is an important question. Are levels of abuse in football increasing or decreasing? We've got the latest figures from the charity Kick It Out and their mid-season reports.
Yeah, and delighted to say Chris Reidy joins us now on set to go through some of these key figures. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. It's an important issue. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Pete, like I said, I think it's going to be a story that's relevant to a lot of our viewers who play grassroots football, including yourself. I know you coach at the level and have played grassroots football for a long time. Look, the numbers are going up, including in youth football as well. It's obviously played by hundreds of thousands of children each week. So if we could take a look at some of the numbers so far, including youth football, we're seeing there's almost as many reported incidents of abuse just halfway in the mark this season compared to the whole of last season. Last season, there were 111 reported incidents. This season, by the middle of February, when the report was done, we're already up to 85. So look, if it carries on at that rate, it will easily overtake last year's levels. And to give you an idea of the sort of age we're talking about, we're talking groups as young as under 11s, under 12s, and as you can see, we've already we've almost reached the level for the total of the season before last as well. Now look, one of those incidents was of young Oscar, 11-year-old playing in an under 12s game back in September last year. He was racially abused by an opponent, and Oscar and his family have agreed to sit down with me, and we can take a look at that now.
It made me feel a bit confused and shocked at why you had to say that, because it's only like an under 11s football game. So like at first I carried on, and then I started to realise what it meant, and so I didn't really know what to do, so I walked off the pitch and then I couldn't really breathe. I feel fine, but sometimes I worry about will it happen again? I've told my mum a few times that day that I didn't want to be my skin colour, because, yeah, it's just hard.
The child in question came forward, or maybe was identified through the process. And the club then I think himself had some educational programme, and our club had an educational programme as well. And I think they, as far as we know, they followed through with it. And yeah, I mean, to us, it's a good outcome. We don't want anything worse than that.
Look, really sad to hear from Oscar there on what he went through. But I have to say, when I sat down with him, what a remarkable young man. He's got back up, he's still playing. So it's great to see him back playing, but a very sad story there. Look, if we take a look at the sort of specific type of discrimination that we've seen by youngsters here on this chart, over 6 in every 10 cases is racism. Abuse based on religion is 9%, and 3/4 of those cases are actually anti-Semitism. Around 4% of abuse is about someone's sexual orientation, and almost 1/4 of the cases are actually labelled in the bracket as other, which includes disability and gender-based discrimination. If we move on to sort of grassroots football on an overall level, I have to say, which includes men's senior football, youth football, boys and girls football, and veterans football, 43% of those reports between players, were abuse between players, but discrimination just doesn't affect sort of the players on the pitch as well. So I have to say there's an 125% increase in abuse towards fans, which I found really interesting. So people not even playing, just people watching on the sideline. And actually also interesting, we're doing a lot of work with referees. There's been a 233% increase of abuse towards officials. 200% increase to club staff as well. And these, like I must say, they're all compared to the same point last season. So we can see the massive increases here. I have to stress, a lot of these are based on quite small numbers, sort of dozens of cases, or up to hundreds, but they do show a substantial increase in the numbers. That's going to concern many in the game. It's like I said, people like yourself, Pete, who coach at the level, but also including Kick It Out, who did give us these stats today, and they're finishing their month of action on grassroots. And Kick It Out have got a timely reminder of the work still to be done.
They have indeed,
It's just
Chris.
shocking, the numbers and the way that the jump from one season to the next. It's absolutely unbelievable, and it's just, especially grassroots level, it is meant to be fun. Like it's mind-boggling.
This is the thing, when you see the sort of the increase at youth level, where you say it's meant to be fun. We're talking about under 11s, under 12s. This is where you're meant to be enjoying the game. And if you heard from someone like Oscar there, one of his first experiences playing sort of bigger football is a really sad one.
Very important. Chris, thank you so much for sharing those stats with us.